Welcome back, everybody, to Triton Cup 61. We have losers final, Sweepy Tooth versus Alkopops. Bio, you vanilla enjoyer. What do you think we're going to be expecting in this set?
Well, we were definitely not going to be expecting some mint ice cream. Sorry to burst your bubble, but what we will be expecting is a pretty sweet, sweet, get it? Matchup between Sweepy Tooth and Alkopops. Sweepy Tooth, of course, fell from winner's bracket against Potages, which are waiting for the winner of this set in grand finals, and Alkopops has been fighting tooth and nail through the loser bracket gauntlet to try and get to this for this opportunity to try and strike it big back to go back to grand final
Language.
But we're going to be seeing Sweepy Tooth here with their staple Wiper Nautilus ink brush composition, while Alkopops also showing off their pretty mainline, but honestly pretty interesting with that trying to vote composition that they showed off last game. Hermit already going behind, trying to get a pick onto the shooter on the side of Alkopops. Not quite going to happen, but does stall for a little bit and gets Keto a nice setup on that right side, but it's not going to last for long as Sweepy Tooth get forced back really quickly by Alkopops, and Daybreak is going to be forced to jump back. Keto with this Wiper trying to get something going, but not quite going to happen as they go. Wait, actually, no, they get one, but that's only a trade, and Sweepy Tooth is losing quite a few members.
And we see how Alkopops was able to get down to 56, but now it's Sweepy Tooth's chance as they take that zone, but they're 2 down already, and Daisuke coming in trying to get the pick off the brush, but the brush trading with them 3 down on the side of Sweepy Tooth, and Alkopops is able to think that zone and take back control with that 15 penalty on Sweepy Tooth.
Yeah, that is going to be a few point of penalty applied to Alkopops. That's a bit of time involved for Sweepy Tooth, but it's still nothing. It's still nothing compared to how much dominance Alkopops is showing here. Yaru getting so many picks with that long range mode of the ballpoint. You really need to respect that. It might not have the best DPS. It might not have the best DPS, but it is definitely very threatening, especially if your weapon that can contest it at that range, which none of Sweepy Tooth weapons can do that. So they need to be really careful, and they do seem to be doing that as they get another quick cap onto the zone, putting Alkopops at a 3 down, actually basically delayed wipe situation, and Sweepy Tooth are setting themselves up to maybe get a hold that can rival that of Alkopops.
And now going into this Sweepy Tooth, they have their chance to really take back here. That Zuka coming in here trying to get whatever picks that they can, but it's not going to work out really well. They do have some specials ready, and they are going to be popping. There goes the Cooler and the Inkjet. The Hammer coming in here trying to get whatever picks that they can. 2 down on the side of Alkopops, and Sweepy Tooth keeping up control. And that is a complete wipeout on the side of Alkopops. And now as the time is ticking, this is looking really promising for Sweepy Tooth.
Yeah, as they flip the lead, Alkopops is now on the back foot. They are getting a taste of their own medicine as they are seeing what they forced onto Sweepy Tooth with 5-4-3. This has to flip right now if Alkopops want a stake in the game, but it's not going to happen. And Sweepy Tooth bring it back from the brink of defeat and take game 1.
And that is going to be really good for them going into this losers finals. They want to get that top 2 spot, and they want it as fast as possible.
Definitely, and that is that makes Sweepy Tooth 1 game closer to facing off against Potager in grand finals once again. But Alkopops is definitely not out of it yet. With this best of 5 set, they have quite a few games to go before they're out of it, and this is counterpick based like winners finals. So it's now all gonna ride on Alkopops counterpick here to see if they can get a map advantage possibly over Sweepy Tooth and secure game 2.
Going into this, Alkopops has the counter picks, so this could easily just they can get the win for Alkopops, and we've seen, especially in looser semifinals, how well Alkopops was doing at locking out. And Sweepy Tooth, we saw how good they did in winners finals, so they really want to put that into play here and do their best, you know, make it to that top 2 at least, and then try to take on Prothedra again.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing these two teams clash on game 2. Alkopop's counter pick has been confirmed to be Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market. Definitely a classic. We all know about this map. We've all played on it at least a sizable chunk of our Splatoon 3 career. So I think these two teams are definitely going to have some strategies set in their minds and have some competitions already under their belt, ready for this really well ridden road of Hagglefish.
And I've seen Hermit doing a really good job of flanking with that brush, so I feel like that's going to come into play here, and Alkopops really has to be careful with that, because if they aren't, that brush is literally just going to go right behind them, get a pick or two, and that's going to be a lockout for Sweepy Tooth. So Alkopops really needs to watch out on those sides. They really need to watch their flanks, because if they don't and they get picked off, it's going to be really in favor for Sweepy Tooth.
Oh, for sure. And but also Hermit's other weapon, Splashmatic Neo, is also a force to be reckoned with. That thing can churn out a remarkable amount of pain, and those tri-strikes are also great on zones to boot. But it is going to be Hermit sticking onto the ink brush. No switches on Sweepy Tooth's composition, while Alkopops actually have Alex move on to the splatter shot, which is going to give them quite a bit of aggressive potential with that Zuka, which is honestly great when trying to cross this death pit in mid.
Going into this, we do see those picks coming in right away here. So going into this match, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of really good picks here coming in here. 2 down on the side of Sweepy Tooth and Alkopops. Locking out right away with that Zuka. This is going to be doing really good for them. 2 down on the side of Sweepy Tooth, and Alkopops really going into this lock-in.
Yeah, points are taken down really quickly. Alkopops really doing a great job of keeping Sweepy Tooth away. They're cycling even more specials. They have that Inkjet online if they want. If Sweepy Tooth starts to push with this Whale and this Inkstorm, and they are going to be able to pop it. Yaru looking for some value. Eyes Daybreak gets a pick on them, but Hermit is waiting, and that is going to be quite a few picks coming out onto Alkopops. Wait, no, never mind. None of them actually go down, while Sweepy Tooth have their brush player fall to Alkopops, and with 9 points remaining, they need to flip the zone right now, but Alkopops have just a little bit more paint, and they are holding this back. Yaru trying to paint through in the middle of the Inkstorm, but Sweepy Tooth trying to hold on, and 3 down on the side of Alkopops, thanks to some very unexpected turn of events, is going to secure Sweepy Tooth the zone and give Alkopops a whopping 71 points of penalty, keeping Sweepy Tooth in the game.
And going into this, Sweepy Tooth has a lot to do if they want to win this game. And a lot of time they have to stall out here. And we see right away this Wiper getting just trying to 2v1 with Stamper, but doesn't seem to get a good enough angle, and the brush retreats back here. We do see the Whale coming out here. The Jet gets taken out. It's going to be a really good Jet pick here. And Sweepy Tooth is just trying to pick this zone here. We do see the Knot getting a really good double, and Sweepy Tooth takes back control, and they have another chance as their score is really going down. Alkopops needs to be careful here.
This is pretty reminiscent of what we were seeing last game on Mako zones. Alkopops got a fantastic lead at the beginning of the game, but now Sweepy Tooth are looking to bring it back already, and the 15-point marker, but Hermit goes down. That's not a pick you want to see, but they are going to secure lead at just the last second before Alkopops flips zone. That is going to be lead given to Sweepy Tooth, and with such a high amount of penalty on both sides, that 1 point difference can be massive, especially if Sweepy Tooth keeps on stalling out this neutral game as hard as they are.
And now, look how close we are. 2 minutes on the clock, 2 down on the side of Sweepy Tooth, and Alkopops trying to just push in here. They have 50 on their penalty. Their testicle is out. They want to take this game, and they want to do it as fast as possible. 35 on their penalty remaining here. We do see that Stamper getting canceled mid-air, and that's going to be really good for Sweepy Tooth to go back in here. The brush gets taken out here, but they're trying to get the zone. They have the Stamper at the ready. The Storm coming in here. There comes that Hammer, trying to get whatever picks that they can, but it's not going to work. The Zap goes down there, but with the Cooler and the Will coming in here, Sweepy Tooth takes back control last second, but they go 3 down, and they wipe out.
That was a fantastic wipe on the side of Alkopops, and now with 1 minute 20 remaining, this is definitely looking winnable for Alkopops. Sweepy Tooth need to find a way back in, and the penalty is already ticking down very quickly. Just 30 points left, and Sweepy Tooth trying to get Hermit on this right side. Yeah, Alkopops don't see him, and that is going to be a successful whale, possibly a pick on the left side, opening up a ton of space for Sweepy Tooth to move forward. Hermit is going to end up dying, but Tito is right there, building up off of that distraction, gets 2-3 down. It's only the Stamper left on the side of Alkopops, and Sweepy Tooth bring it back in spades.
That's going to be really good from going into these last 40 seconds. Weapon gets taken out by the Zuka. This is going to be a really close game coming in here. The penalty is taken away for Sweepy Tooth, but the knuckles down there, and Alkopops is trying to move back up here. They cap the zone, and it is enough to flip in these last 30 seconds. And Alkopops is trying to take control. Both teams pop their tap coolers. The Inkjet coming out of there. The Inkjet gets canceled. 2 down, 3 down on the side of Alkopops, and Sweepy Tooth takes it back.
Yeah, and just 10 seconds remaining. Alkopops is really struggling. They have their shop player back in spawn, and 5 seconds remaining. 2 down on the side of Alkopops. Sweepy Tooth still holding on to zone very comfortably. That is going to be game 2, going to Sweet Tooth and threatening a 3-0 over.
That's going to be really good going in for them. And Sweepy Tooth, what an incredible game we just saw. We just got to talk about how close that game was.
Yeah, that was it. Was just that 1 point difference, but once you have that that slight lead at the very end of the point marker, at those very low point markers, 6, 7, and whatever points, those really matter. And the fact that Sweepy Tooth was able to edge it out right before Alkopops flipped the zone really gave them a huge advantage, especially with how much penalty was applied to both teams. And honestly, all the Sweepy Tooth really had to do was just stall, because the amount of penalty applied to Alkopops kept them from getting quite close enough to the actual point marker to make to threaten Sweepy Tooth's lead. And yeah, and we just saw them take it slow, just defend. And Alkopops was kind of scrambling there at the end, trying to get back to zone. But yeah, that's going to be Sweepy Tooth taking second game in this, honestly, the same general game flow that we saw on that Mako Zones game, with just coming back and getting that lead. So Sweepy Tooth is really showing up with that consistent performance, and we're going to see if that carries all throughout game 3, which is going to be on Splat Zone's Brinewater Springs.
And this is going to be a really interesting match to go in here. I mean, this is a match that both teams can be locked out really fast. So Sweepy Tooth, as long as he can lock him out, they can secure that 3-0 and go against Predator in the finals. But Alkopops, we know how good they are at locking out, and they aren't going to take this match lightly. They want to win these next 3 games, and they want to head into that top 2.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Sweepy Tooth be really determined about taking the fight back to Potages. They lost to them in winners finals. We saw that heartbreaking defeat, but they said no. We are going for a rematch. We're not satisfied with how that ended up. We want to take it back, and we are definitely showing that energy here. And let's hope it stays true as we move on here to game 3. No comp changes on either side are going to show both these teams sticking to their guns and really trying to make their respective competitions work.
And going into this right away, we do see Alkopops trying to get that zone, but they go 2 down, and Sweepy Tooth taking it back really fast, and they're already just not even 30 seconds into this match, trying to push onto Alkopop's base. Not exactly close enough to doing so, but the hammer coming out there, the Ancient trying to take him out, but they're not taking him out. This Ancient really needs to be careful because this Knot is doing a really good job of blocking him out there. And this is going to be really good. They're following up with the Whale. They have that Zipcaster ready, but 2 down on the side of Sweepy Tooth, and Alkopops has that chance to take that zone back.
Yeah, we're seeing the member of Sweepy Tooth stall on that left side, just wasting a ton of time for 3 members of Alkopops, and comes out with a trade. The shot also goes down on the side of Alkopops. That's going to be huge for Sweepy Tooth, especially as they're moving in very quickly on the back of this tactical. The Ancient does come out from Alkopops though, and it is going to find one. Searches for a second, not quite going to get it, but it is going to be the zone secured once again for Alkopops. But it's not a Sweepy Tooth to have anything to say about it with that rain, with that Inkstorm, with those bombs, with that Ultra Stamp, which are going to end up combining to find a pick onto the splatter shot and almost getting a pick onto the Zipcaster, which is not what you want to see if you're Alkopops.
And going into this, we see them rushing in here. Alkopops wants to cap this zone really badly. Sweepy Tooth goes 2 down, and that's going to be the cap that they need here. And Alkopops really rushing right onto their base. It's going to be really good for them.
Yeah, and Alkopops already burning through their very slight penalty are going to be able to edge out lead to put some pressure onto Sweepy Tooth, and Hermit once again gets picked. Hermit is playing really aggressively and getting picked at honestly pretty not optimal times. So Alkopops is doing a great job of punishing that over-aggression, but it's not going to matter if 2 of their members go down right as the fight begins, and Sweepy Tooth are going to be able to swift take back zone and push Keto in so aggressively and camp the landing in a stylish fashion, get another pick, and with this stream of flats, Alkopops is now being pushed back pretty far into their spawn, but they are starting to push back in with that Stamper, with that Inkjet, with that Trizuka, and that is going to be 3 down once again on the side of Sweepy Tooth, forcing them to jump out, try to stay alive. Not quite going to happen, but it is still going to be a huge advantage for Alkopops.
And now that, Alkopops, they have controlled their penalty taking down here, but Sweepy Tooth popping that cooler. They have that Stamp ready. There comes that Zipcaster trying to get whatever picks they can, trying to distract the members of Sweepy Tooth, but they aren't going to let it slide that easily. There comes those Whales, and we do see the cap on the zone there, but the weapon gets taken out, the Stamper gets taken out, 2 down on the side of Sweepy Tooth, and they're trying to cap that zone here, but they're going to get forced back here. It's just that zap on that zone here. And we do see the Wiper getting the pick off of the ballpoint. That's going to be huge. So there comes the Stamper, and they get the pick on the point. That's going to be really huge. They're trying to cap the zone, and there's the cap with just that zap. We do see that zap fight, and another coming in there, and Sweepy Tooth caps the zone just in time, but the 3 down, and Alkopops quickly takes back control.
Ooh, that was a clutch cap on the side of Sweepy Tooth. That zap 1v1 was very scary for them, but they did manage to get some penalty, but they need to stay alive if they want a chance of bringing this back. Keto does end up avenging Daybreak and fishes for another pick onto the shot. Yes, they do. But Hermit once again goes down. That's not what you want to see if you're Sweepy Tooth. Any trades are only going to be in favor of Alkopops, and that's kind of what we're seeing as Alkopops honestly just very quickly outpaint Sweepy Tooth. Wait, yeah, yes they do, and that was just not quite enough. Sweepy Tooth's push was cut short due to a lot of picks coming out from Alkopops, and that is going to be the latter taking Game 3 and setting up what could be the start of a reverse sweep.
And that is going to be a great game for Alkopops. And yeah, this could be their ticket to a reverse sweep. But Sweepy Tooth, they have that counter pick ready. So they know they can pick a map that they're better at and just try to flip it into their favor, which is going to put even more pressure on Alkopops. And we saw how close that game was. And just how close, they were just fighting for that zone as much as possible. The members just slowly filing in the Alkopops just to save it to paint a little bit better. So going into the Sweepy Tooth, they can go to a map that has probably a little bit more flank routes, a spot where Hermit's able to enter in with that brush, get those picks, because I've seen that Sweepy Tooth, they're really good at these maps with flank routes. And I think that's really going to help them. They can pick something with a great flank other than something like Brinewater.
Yeah, for sure. We saw Alkopops pick up really great map mode. Map for countering Sweepy Tooth's playstyle. But now the ball is in Sweepy Tooth's court, and they're going to be able to pick a map that they feel comfortable on, that they are confident they can close out the set on. So Alkopops is now at a disadvantage, which is the difficulty with these reverse sweeps that Alkopops is being forced to pull off. And actually, we're going to be seeing a map that Alkopops we have seen Alkopops on this map before. It is going to be Splat Zones on Inkblot Art Academy. Like you were saying, Matt, I like the idea that Sweepy Tooth is going for. This map has a few flank routes that Sweepy Tooth Slayers can exploit, such as Hermit with that ink brush. So I can definitely see their logic behind choosing this map.
So, yeah, I mean, Inkblot, I believe we've seen them play Inkblot before. So, going into this again, they picked something with some kind of flank route, and this map does definitely have a flank route. So, going into this, I feel like we're going to see Hermit back on the brush, trying to get back into the rhythm that Sweepy Tooth needs to win this game, and again, them against Protodraw again.
Yeah, we're moving straight in here. This is once again all the pressure riding on Alkopop's shoulders. Sweepy who just need to win this, and they are guaranteed a spot in grand finals next to Potager. And it is going to be once again no composition switches on either side. Both teams are very confident in what they can pull off. So very interesting to see these two teams get just really show off what they can do with their preferred compositions. But it is going to be Sweepy Tooth failing that first team fight with Daybreak going down, unfortunately. But the Wiper is going to try and get some picks with the stamp, but it's not going to happen as the Trizuka gets 2 on the side of Sweepy Tooth. And now Alkopops, once again with the opening fight advantage, are going to make it difficult for Sweepy Tooth to find any foothold in mid once again.
And now going into this, they have the zone. Alkopops, they do have a chance here. They're 3 down on the side of Sweepy Tooth, and this is really good for them. You know, as long as they have this lockout, they're going to be really good here. They have that whale ready, and they have that test cooler, and there they go. The brush trying to rush in here, which is, they're in their 20s, 2 down on the side of Alkopops, and this is Sweepy Tooth's chance to come in here, and it is, and they do get that cap, giving the members of Alkopops a 63 penalty, and that's going to really force them to back up here.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Sweepy Tooth in the position where they have shined these past few games, where they are being forced to confront a pretty large lead on the side of Alkopops, but they somehow find a way to bring it back. So this is definitely a situation that is not new to Sweepy Tooth, and we'll just have to see if they're able to replicate some of their earlier success, but it doesn't seem to be happening as the Inkjet gets 1. The brush goes down, but it is going to be traded out by Keto on this right side. Daybreak trying to hold on to the zone. Gonna be able to trade with Yaru's ballpoint, but it's still not quite what you want to see. And Keto's going to be isolated on this left side, get collapsed on very quickly, and all the members of Sweepy Tooth are now facing an enemy that's collapsing on them from the right side. But just as I say, 3 down on the side of Alkopops is going to be Sweepy with a ton of space to move forward, and now it's only Yaru left alive. This Wiper is going to be holding down the 4, getting a huge amount of picks onto the jumpers from Alkopops. That's going to be wiped out on Alkopops, and Sweepy Tooth holding the zone is going to be able to take game 4, the set, and a direct one-way ticket to grand finals, where they will face off against their rival Potages.
And that is going to be really, really good for them. And now that Sweepy Tooth is up against Prodigy again, a rematch from winners finals. What a great set. I mean, we saw how close they especially were earlier, especially on Splat Zone's Haggle. We saw them. They had a 1-point lead from Sweepy Tooth had 1-point lead for most of the game, and then there they have it. You know, this is a really close set, especially for both teams. Though we didn't go to a game 5, we definitely had some close matches in between these sets. And I believe we're going to take a short break and get set up for grand finals.